Hello, welcome to my next video. Well, this is it's Roland's world as opposed to Wayne's world. You see, that's the so yeah, for some reason that cut short. I don't know why. It's obviously running out of power. But this is going to be another video that I'm making regarding my journey, really. And well, there's a brilliant guy with a beard. I should refer to his name, I can't remember now, but he does videos, and now one of the things he says is that you should never refer someone else or tell someone that, hey, I think you're on the spectrum. But he says it's okay to self-diagnose, but obviously you can only go so far. You just know that you know if you're on the spectrum. Well, that's part of my journey, really, that I just know, and I've done many tests, and I have a child who's been diagnosed. Actually, another kid has been referred, so 2 children, 1 diagnosed, 1 referred, and I'm sure many parents have got to a point in their life and suddenly they have a diagnosis from their child, and wow, all this stuff I'm reading, this attention stuff, this hyperfocus, whatever it might be, you recognise those symptoms and they kind of mirror what your experience was as a child. And certainly for me, as a child, I went through the process, and as I've said in a previous video, they did not diagnose ADHD, autism. I think it was a bit more of a kind of, yeah. Anyway, they had different labels back then, and the struggle was real. It really was. But anyway, one of the things this chap says, he says it's okay to self-diagnose, and in fact, he before he'd got his diagnosis, he started to go to groups, and the first thing he thought was, oh, they're going to call me an imposter. They're going to say, what are you doing here? And so he has a joke, said, hello, I diagnosed myself with Asperger's last night on the internet as a joke, and the response was, hey, welcome to the family, and if you're watching this now, you know you've got Asperger's, I'd like to think you would have that kind of sentiment too. And oh, that's just gone off again. So anyway, this is my journey, really. I mean, when my diagnosis comes, I'm hoping I won't be surprised, but also it's kind of, what motive would there be for self-diagnosing to be autistic? You know, it's like you might fake your IQ level, you might now, but yeah, so it's a kind of no-brainer, really. So and it's really helpful as well. You know, and so this is really my journey, my vlog. So I'm going to put up something here. Like, when you meet someone who has Asperger's syndrome, you might notice 2 things right off. He's just as smart as other folks, but he has more trouble with social skills. Tick tick. He also tends to have obsessive focus on one topic or perform the same behaviours again and again. Now I have lots of focus. Guitar is one of them. I also have drums going on somewhere else. This is a mandolin. Someone gave this mandolin to me. It's I think it's really old. It's an Italian one. So, thank you, Ruth, for that lovely gift. It's been appreciated. Harmonica. See, and these are just some of my focuses. Art. This is entitled "When You Were." I can't remember now. When you were under the fig tree, I saw you. So that's kind of biblical reference, really. But you might say, oh yeah, but everyone has focuses, everyone has interests. But you just know that the regular stuff can sometimes just be pushed into the background, and your focuses come out, and you forget what day it is. I mean, it's like here I am doing this video. I'm supposed to be going to collect my car. So I mean, ADHD is definitely I think it's on the likelihood, but I've also been researching Asperger's, and I'm like, oh, okay, right. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with either, really. I think the main thing that I'm finding helpful is blogging about it, sharing about it, and if it helps someone else, if they find it interesting, great. If like 2 people watch this video, well, okay, it's good for me because I can just look back on them, and it doesn't cost anything to make these videos. So yeah, he may miss social cues that are obvious to other folks, like body language or the expressions on people's faces. That's a definite one. He may not realise that when someone crosses his arms and scowls, he's angry. Yeah, classic. I mean, the social stuff. I mean, for instance, I was in McDonald's with my family about a week ago, and obviously because of the lockdown, they have to bring your food to you, and sometimes there's a bit of a wait. And the girl that brought our food, she says, sorry for your wait. And my response was, oh, gosh, you shouldn't be sorry. And she didn't. But I rather than saying that, I said, oh, you don't look sorry. And to which point she looked a little bit upset. And my wife said, oh, you can't say that. And I was like, oh, yeah, I didn't really mean you should be sorry, and you don't look very sorry, but that's how it came out. And so the social norm would be you just don't. In some ways, it's a courtesy, isn't it? Whether she's sorry or not, it's just something that you're trained to do. So you go, oh, sorry for your wait. You know, when you're in the supermarket, you've been there like 2 minutes. Say sorry for your wait, and you're, oh, well, I've only been here 2 minutes. It wasn't a wait. It wasn't a long. Why are you sorry? But I think that's one of the another trait is that you take things very literally. So if someone says I'm sorry, you might doubt that they're sorry, and so you might say, oh, I don't think you are sorry. Why are you saying sorry? Or you might say, gosh, you don't need to be sorry. There's no cause to be sorry. Yeah, you know, I kind of think sorry is it's one of those things when you really offend someone, you say sorry, and then that's okay, I forgive you. But anyway, these words are used very, very frequently, and I kind of think that we can sometimes misread when someone really means I'm sorry, and when they're just saying it as it's part of courtesy, that kind of thing. Yeah, and it's definitely small talk. I think I mentioned that in my last video. Oh, small talk, gosh. Yeah, we all do it, you know. You might mention the weather out of, well, what do you say? It's sunny today. And yeah, it's sunny out there today. But yeah, but you just hate small talk because it seems to you so unreal, so false. Another one, my family do it to me. They say, good night, love you. Good night, love you. See ya, love you. and I don't doubt that somewhere that they do, but it's kind of, yeah, just saying I love you. I mean, if I tell someone I love you, there would be quite an emotional cost. It would, you know, I would find it sort of difficult to say, but it would mean, you know, it would be a biggie, because, you know, you might not get the response you want, or you might just go, oh, love you too. So yeah, that's an interesting one. So good night, love you, see you, love you. Or you know, I have a friend who text messages me. He's a male friend, and he puts a little cross at the end of the text message, and I'm like, ooh, hang on, you know, it is nothing weird, and you know, he was my best man actually at my wedding, and but that's just his thing. But I would kind of shy away from putting across. I mean, I just about managed to do it with my mum or my wife, kind of thing. So even so it's kind of, and then when you're sending a card, a Christmas card or a birthday card, do you put across? Do you not? How many do you put? Ooh, what if I only put 2? Does that mean I don't love them very much? If I put 4, is that acceptable? Or do I have to fill the whole card with X's if it's your spouse? So it's overthinking, and I think that is definitely a trait. Now the thing is, a lot of stuff on the internet is almost like designed for parents of children who are looking for signs. Every child is different. I mean, the thing is about autism and ADHD, it isn't something you grow out of. I think it's something that's these days is recognised in children, and I think as an adult, as many of you will know who are on that journey, whether you've had a diagnosis, whether you're getting a diagnosis, it's a fight, it's a struggle to get that diagnosis. And again, wrong diagnoses, we've all had them, haven't we? I've had so many now I can't remember them all. It's personality disorder, stress, depression, clinical depression, bipolar. I don't know if I've had bipolar, but I think bipolar and personality disorder, they might interlink. I don't know. I'm no expert really. I had some therapy recently, and my therapist said, "Oh, you're definitely not personality disorder." I would recognise that, but then ADHD, absolutely no trouble convincing her of that. And again, my other therapist, current one, she's like, almost speaks of your autism rather than your ADHD. It's like, but she can't diagnose me because she's a therapist. And in fact, she's a specialised therapist now, and so she can't diagnose me. So I'm on that kind of awaiting the diagnosis, but it's okay because I've kind of embraced it. And if it's different to what I've embraced, that's okay because it's a journey. But it really does answer so many questions, and I'm sure many of you can relate to that. It's like, oh, you're not a weirdo, you're not a freak. I mean, I've recently I work in the building trade, and I've kind of sent an overlong text message to somebody who subcontracted me to do a job, and I sort of gave all these kind of reasons, and I'm sorry, things didn't, there was a few issues which he'd mentioned, and so it kind of sent me into a bit of a panic. Oh no, that's it, he's not going to use me again. I've offended him, I've upset him. And actually it's just work, it isn't personal. And so I said, look, sorry, gave a few reasons why I might have oversent the text message, and it's okay, it really is. And right, okay, 40 minutes, right? So yeah, it's well, we know that the journey is a journey of discovery, it's a journey of embrace. This is my shed. It's my kind of little zone where I escape to. Those aren't real books. And this is Dylan. Now Dylan is he's a rabbit from the Magic Roundabout, and I'm sure most of you will remember that, particularly my generation, because we grew up with Magic Roundabout and Dougal the dog, Dylan the rabbit. Forget the cow's name now. But I always liked the character Dylan because he's this kind of sleepy, chilled out rabbit, and he plays the guitar, and he just, yeah, whatever, man. And, and I think in any cartoon, who are you going to relate to? Most people are, maybe you watch Winnie the Pooh and you kind of think, well, who do I relate to? I've been compared to Eeyore. It's probably going to rain anyway, it's all wrong. And also Tigger, because he's ADHD, isn't he? And then you've got, see what I did there? I went from Magic Roundabout to Winnie the Pooh. And then you've got the owl, he's very wise, isn't he? And then you've got the Pooh Bear, and he's very, I think he's quite logical, isn't he? He just plods on. And yeah. Anyway, that's another thing aside. So yeah, so what do we do then? Where do we go from here? Once you're on the journey and you're managing it, I think that's the key really for me now. It's kind of managing. It's just looking ahead. And the thing is, I'm self-employed, and I've kind of got a lot of stuff to juggle. Juggling, that's something else. I learned to juggle in my teens. I kind of grew up in it was kind of post-punk, but then I kind of mixed with the kind of later kind of hippie kind of crowd, and festivals and juggling was a thing, and suddenly everyone was juggling. I haven't got juggling balls here, otherwise I'd do a demonstration, but next video I'm gonna juggle. And I remember being at this party once, and this guy was juggling with objects he could find in the room, and people were just handing him, yeah, have this hairbrush, have this have this chair. I'm not sure if there's a chair, but just various, seeing what he could juggle with, and he could juggle with virtually anything. He was very good, and he used to juggle with fire sticks and these batons, and I mean, I can really seriously only juggle with proper juggling balls, and then they have to be the right weight, and sometimes I drop them. But yeah, juggling, it's like, and I think juggling it is a bit like having a neurodiversity. You're juggling. So here I'm pretending I'm juggling, right? Just imagine there's balls here. You got your emotions are going that way, and then you've got your kind of your things you've got to do. So you're juggling with those, and then you've got your kind of relationships, and you're juggling them within it all, and you're making sure that you're balanced, and you're not kind of upsetting people, you're not messing up your job, you're not, your emotions aren't peaking or kind of dropping. I mean, I've recently just come out of a couple of days where I was just like, so it was such a low, and it was just really difficult couple of days, and no reason for it, but you just know that it's your emotions, it's the regulative part of your brain just does not manage emotions very well. So that's part of it, really. That's part of the and yeah, I mean, the thing is, these things are wrongly, I'm not the first to say this, I mean, wrongly named, like attention deficit. I mean, deficit already, you've got two things. You got the attention, so you can't concentrate, you got a deficit, you're hyperactive, are you? And it's like, it's a disorder, is it? And it's quite negative, but actually there's people with ADHD have a lot to offer. They have interesting personalities. I heard somebody say that not only do you think outside the box, most of the time you're not aware there is a box. And I love that. Yeah. What box? I didn't see a box. And you're spontaneous, you're creative, and I mean, I used to be in this commune type thing, and okay, a lot of negative stuff happened, but one of the things they called me was creative, because I really was, and I was drawing and kind of music and all these things I used to do. I could hyper focus for hours on. I might have an idea for a song, and I could spend hours working on these songs, and Okay, so other stuff didn't get done, and but yeah, I mean, it's just right. I'm gonna cut short because 20 minutes. I've noticed when you're loading things onto YouTube, if you see something which is really long, you can, oh gosh, I'm not gonna sit through that. So hopefully that's kind of I'm going to find a title which represents what I've shared really, but it's yeah, potential autism, potential ADHD, but there's no doubt with me. But again, I'm not an imposter. I'm not seeking to be an imposter, and so and I don't believe the community will see me as an imposter, but someone who's on the journey. And so yeah, so hopefully somebody found this helpful, and I'm going to sign off now. I'm going to find another time very soon to make another video. Thank you for watching. Bye.